Hello Pisces, Pisces rising and Pisces moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting November 20th, 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you Pisces people out there, remember that if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. This is the same place you would go to either schedule a session with me or order a downloadable video file. So, what is going on when it comes to your astrology this week, Pisces? Well, on Tuesday, we've got Venus, planet of attraction, magnetism, harmony, love, in your 9th house of higher education, government, legal proceedings, travel, and culture, forming a lovely sextile to Pluto, currently in your 11th house of friendships and social networking and higher aspirations and ideals. And when we have Venus sextile to Pluto, it looks like a gap is being bridged, either between you and a potential lover. There could be an introduction to a new lover through a friend, especially if we're taking some kind of trip, or perhaps even a lover opportunity coming through a friend that's been out of our space, whether because of a distance or a time or whatever. There seems to be some kind of, again, bridge being built. This also looks like a lovely opportunity for a lot of you who are looking to join a new social circle, whether through a cultural institution or a cultural gathering or an academic institution, or again while traveling. There may actually be that group being discovered this week. Not only that, but again, possibly the potential for love in that group. On Friday, however, we do have Mercury, planet of communications, haste, and speed, forming a tense square from Sagittarius, your 10th house of career, to Chiron, currently in your sign. And it does look like there may be some kind of tense discussion, awkward discussion, or maybe a hard argument that needs to come up between you and somebody that you work with, whether it's a peer, a colleague, or somebody just connected to you in your work life, your career, and your finances. And it does look like this is an old issue, either an old issue that's been left unsettled, or an old issue that this person has simply not actually taken care of or confronted in some time. This may be something that they're screwing up, or this may be something that we both agreed to just sort of leave as a silent awkwardness. But this week, we may have to confront it, and it's okay. For your spiritual advice, let's move on to your cards. We do have the Black Cat. And the Black Cat does show up here as, the prompt says, your luck will soon change. Now, it's important to pay attention to what this card talks about. It's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune of this deck. So what is left up in the air will come down, but what is down will come up. And this can actually be something that you can time and work with in a way that is actually, only good, only positive for you, and nothing negative. Now, when it comes to the Black Cat, though, we have to pay attention to, well, okay, if what we've left up in the air could come down, we have to take a good hard look and see, well, what have we been too hands-off with? What have we left up in the air? What have we decided? Have we decided to, just kind of trust to fate or to chance or to surrender too much? And conversely, what do we need? What have we been too hands-on with? Way too involved in? Maybe all of our energy has been consumed by one thing that needs to be left alone, and something that we've left alone, it needs to be shifted, or something, something difficult may actually arise or manifest from our choice there. This is a week where we need to adjust our strategy. For instance, Pisces, if you've been, say, maybe working way too much, and then you've got a situation going on at home that requires your attention, you leave it to chance, it may get worse. If you've been, night and day with a romantic partner and something else, has been left up in the air, we need to switch gears. Just for 1 week, try it out. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Lovers reversed. And it does look like there may be some issues going on with perhaps a separation or the ending of a commitment, the ending of a policy, or some kind of, I guess you could say, union or arrangement that you've made at work or with a business partner. The Lovers card reverse can indicate that this may be a severance that comes in a way that's actually very good to you. Maybe you're actually very happy to see it happen. Maybe there was no way to make a win-win out of this situation. And the Lovers card reverse can show up here where a lot of you looking for a new job may actually abandon a prospect for something better that has come to already take its place. That is totally okay to do, because the Lovers reversed is basically cautioning against taking any unnecessary commitments right now. Okay, especially when it comes to, again, when we're handling, maybe we're thinking, okay, the reward will come later. This is not that kind of week to be thinking about that. Don't be like, okay, well, I'll get it later. It'll come down, it'll get kicked back to me later. It'll come back to me somehow. Not with the Lover's card reversed. A lot of better alternatives will show up, and there are a lot of commitments that you might have actually already been thinking about that you will abandon. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Four of Wands upright. And this can actually be a really nice card because it does talk about, again, some kind of gathering or some kind of event or some kind of happening around you that a friend is actually going to either bring you to or perhaps even set up. That actually promises a lot of, I guess you could say a lot of possibilities, or as far as a lot of opportunities concerned, you know, when it comes to the four elements of life. Alright, we talk about earth, material, finances, water, love and romance, fire, creativity and passion, you know, and air, you know, travel, all of those things in that context. There seems to be something going on where you actually have to make yourself more socially available this week. Even if you've been feeling tied up, goodness knows, you know, if you live in America, we're going to be having Thanksgiving this week. So, you know, with the Four of Wands upright, it could be something extra piled on that we do need to make our time available for. This Four of Wands does often bring a cause for celebration. I often paraphrase this in my tarot classes as a cause for celebration card. Whether it's news coming from a friend or family member that you would need to celebrate, or possibly something that would actually, again, a celebration itself that links you to another opportunity, sort of a hopscotch kind of connection. So again, stay available. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Seven of Wands upright. Not necessarily the bad challenge here, but the Seven of Wands is talking about paying attention to where if we decide to back away from a challenge or, you know, or anything like that, make sure that you understand you are backing away for good. This is not a week where, again, with a black cat, things that we leave up in the air are things that we're basically deciding that we don't want to keep anymore. We want them to come down and go away for good. So with the Seven of Wands upright, it's basically saying if there's something you want to preserve, you do need to fight for it. You do need to be able to stay active and involved with it. The Seven of Wands can also show up, however, when it comes to your challenges, also knowing when to champion what is right on behalf of another. If you see somebody, you know, getting mistreated, if you see somebody, you know, perhaps not getting a fair shake, if you feel like somebody's been getting screwed over, this is definitely a week where, you know, you speaking up is going to make you more allies than enemies. The Seven of Wands can also say, you know, I mean, other than that, if you are choosing to be seen and visible in that fighting position, you will have the advantageous position as well. You will not be challenged so long as you're not afraid to stand as king or queen of the hill. If you decide that you don't want to be on that hill, that's where we get the challenges. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the King of Wands reversed. This week, when it comes to love and romance in general, there could be, you know, a fair share of irritation. The King of Wands reversed can show up where, you know, there seems to be too much fly by the seat of our pants kind of energy or focus going on. The King of Wands reversed can bring an attitude of not caring, let's just see where it takes us, not going to make any, you know, any firm commitments, plans, or schedules. And when it comes to a partner's attitude, or perhaps a child that you're both raising, or perhaps, again, even somebody that you've just started to date, this could be fairly irritating because it looks like with the King of Wands reversed, it's a very immature, lackadaisical kind of attitude. Now, I'm all about being laid back. I hate high-maintenance relationships. But I think that with the King of Wands reversed, there is such a thing as a limit. And we could be seeing that there could be some flakiness going on this week as well. Usually with the King of Wands reversed, it's important to remember that sometimes it's just an issue with short-term memory and carelessness, but short-term memory, and this can be something that can be fixed, or at least crisis averted, if we're willing to keep things refreshed. Do not trust, you know, people to just sort of, again, remember because you left it hanging up in the air. You know, again, it could be your kid, it could be somebody you're dating. There could be something important that you need somebody to remember that needs to be reminded. And this week, you know, otherwise we may have to deal with some double booking issues and other issues like that down the road. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, just need to follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.